Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. So I think it was over Vlogmas where I saw Sarah Rose release a video where she talked about the dupes within her makeup collection, and I thought that was a really interesting idea. So I have linked her video in the description box below to go and check it out. But that is what my video today is all about, because I was watching hers and I thought this is a really good way to see exactly what's in your collection, to see how many dupes there are in your collection, and I'm hoping once I know the dupes that are in my collection, that'll help me work out what makeup items I need to use up, what I need to include in project pans moving forwards, because I don't want to have a load of dupes within my makeup collection, especially in categories that are quite big. So my lipstick collection, for example. I love lipsticks. Lipsticks is probably one of my favourite makeup items to shop for, to wear, to apply. I love having a lipstick on, and I always have something on my lips. If it's not a lipstick, it's a lip balm. But I think it was in my makeup inventory video where I said that I don't want to have lots of lipstick shades of the same colour. So I'm hoping in this video that it will help me realise what dupes I do have within my makeup collection and which items I need to work on using up, so I just have one of each type of colour within my collection. So I'm going to take you through some different categories within my makeup collection and show you the dupes that I have found. Okay, so the first category that I want to talk about is lipsticks, and as you can see I've got quite a few pinky mauve type lipsticks. These are all very similar to each other. This first one here is MAC Faux. This one is NYX B52, which is actually a dupe for MAC Faux, so you can kind of see that they are similar, but B52 is just a tiny bit darker, whereas Faux is a bit more of like a truer pink. The third one here is Intense Nude by Estee Lauder. Very similar actually to NYX B52 in tone, and it is also very similar to NYX Eurotrash, the one next to it here. So these three in particular are all very similar, so I really need to work on using up probably two of these and being left with my favourite out of the three. And actually the third one here, so Estee Lauder Intense Nude, is actually on my list to pan this year because there isn't much of it left. This one here is Dynamic. It is slightly more vibrant in tone than the rest, but it is still in a similar family to the other pink tones. And then the last one here is another Estee Lauder one, and this is Rebellious Rose. This one is probably the one that is least like the rest in the lineup. So if you were to compare Rebellious Rose to say Faux, this one here, you can see that they are very different to each other, so they're not really dupes. So I would say that it is the 5 shades here that are all kind of like dupes for each other, especially the 3 in the middle. So I do have sort of 5 to 6 mid-tone pink berry type of shades of lipsticks, and I have actually bought 2 Vieve pink lipsticks, so I am actually adding to this category, which isn't good, but I love Vieve makeup and I just wanted to try some of their new lipsticks. So this is definitely a category of makeup that I need to reduce. Next is my collection of brown lipsticks, like brown peachy nude type of lipsticks. So on the left is Treasure by Vieve, and this is clearly the palest of the 4. The next one after that is Coming in Hot, or Coming in Hot, I can never pronounce that one, so a little bit darker. And then after that is Power Suit, also by Vieve. So you can see that these 3 are all sort of different types of lipsticks, so they're not really dupes for each other. So Power Suit, that third lipstick, is slightly warmer. It's more of like a burnt orange than Soph Revolution Fudge, which is on the far right. And this is the one that I'm actually trying to pan at the moment. This one is in my project pan, so I am working on it. So you could say that those 2 end ones on the right are slight dupes for each other, but not really, because I don't particularly like wearing Fudge, the shade on the right, on my lips, but I love wearing Power Suit on my lips because it's that real burnt orange type of shade. Okay, next I've got my brown lip liners. So at the top I've got MAC Strip Down, and then below it I've got MAC Oak. So you can see that Strip Down is a bit more warm than Oak is. Oak is much more of like a neutral to cool brown, whereas Strip Down at the top is warmer in tone. And I actually prefer Strip Down. I think it's a bit more flattering on my skin tone, so I am going to try to pan Oak at some point this year. And then the 3 below it are all by Vieve. The top one is Velvet Sand, so a lot lighter, a lot peachier, can't really be duped by the 2 above it. And then the 4th one is Bark by Vieve, pretty similar to Oak actually, by MAC, the second one on my hand here. And then the bottom one is Rumour. And that one definitely can't be duped because that's a real reddy type of brown shade. So I suppose the only two that can be duped here are the second and fourth shades. But just want to mention in terms of quality, I actually prefer how the Vieve ones feel and how they apply. They're a lot creamier than the MAC ones. MAC lip liners are sometimes quite drying and they do tug and pull at your lips a little bit. They're lovely colours and they've got great staying power, but Vieve just feel that bit more comfortable. I've just turned down the brightness so you might be able to see them a little bit better. So at the top here is Becca Champagne Pop. Then I've got Copper Pearl and then Golden Light, which are highlighters in my Laura Geller Face and Eye palettes. And they are pretty similar to each other. I'm not sure how well that's been picked up on camera, but the shades are very, very similar. And I'm not a massive highlighter fan, so I'm going to try as well to kind of work through these this year. I've got a couple of similar ones here as well, which I'll just show you in the palettes. So this is MAC Shroom, which is in my Project Pan. So it is a shimmery champagne type of shade. Quite a dupeable shade. It's one that you probably find in a lot of palettes, and I have found it in another palette which is by Urban Decay. This is the Naked Heat palette, and it is very similar to this shade here, which is called Ounce. Just increase the brightness there a little bit so you can see that it is very similar. It's that kind of champagne ivory gold type of shimmer, so quite a dupeable shade. So I am panning Shroom, which is in this palette here, so I am trying to whittle down on my duped eyeshadows. And then I've got two blues here that I thought might be duped for each other, but they're not really. They're both shimmery blue shades, but this darker one here is Pegasus. It's this blue one here by Makeup Geek. So it's a lot more vibrant than this blue shimmery shade in my Revolution We Are Love palette, the Forever Flawless palette. And the Makeup Geek one is a lot easier to swatch. That was just 2 swipes, whereas this one I had to keep going into the pan and swiping and swatching. So Pegasus is a lot more of a vibrant sort of like sea green, turquoise blue type of shade, whereas the one from Revolution is a lot lighter. It's a real pale pastel blue shimmer, so kind of similar but not dupes for each other. I do also have as well a lot of purples. So I have purples like Velvet, Vieve Muse palette, Lava Rock from the Vieve Essentials palette is quite similar, not as a vibrant purple but kind of in the similar family. Ashes from Urban Decay Naked Heat is also fairly similar as well, as is Volatile from Norvina, and Buon Fresco from Modern Renaissance. That one is a bit more purpley, a bit more lilac in tone. And then Blackberry from my MAC Custom palette is also quite similar as well. So I have more purples than I thought I had in my collection. And then I'm not going to swatch them all, but I do have quite a few sort of mid-tone browns. So from the Urban Decay Naked Heat palette, there's a couple of shades here, so Sourced and Low Blow, that are fairly similar. These are really good sort of crease tones. From my ABH palettes, so from Modern Renaissance, I've got shades like Raw Sienna, Burnt Orange, that are those crease shades as well. From Norvina, I've got Incense here, and then I've got Eccentric. That's a bit more of like a true orange though, I would say, but pretty similar. And then from Vieve Essentials, I've got Buff, and then I've got Delicious, this brown one here. So again, really good kind of crease tones. From my Laura Geller palettes, I've got this one here, this mid-tone brown again, and then same in the Sunday Fun Day one, there's this one here. So I do have a lot of palettes that have those mid-toned browns that work really well as a crease shade. So I hope you found that interesting. I have found that really useful. So I know that, for example, my brown lip liners, I'm okay in terms of colours, so there are possibly a couple that I need to use up. So I think this one up here was Oak by MAC, and then this one was Bark by Vieve. So very, very similar colours. So once I have panned whichever lip liner I'm working on at the moment, I think it's Subculture by MAC, I will include Oak, get that one used up because it is pretty similar to Bark from Vieve, and I prefer the Vieve lip liners. Similar sort of thing with the lipsticks as well, so the pink, berry, mauvey types of lipsticks, I own quite a few of those, so I really need to whittle those down. I do want to pan Estee Lauder Intense Nude. I don't have much of that left, so that one is already on my radar, but the other shades like NYX B52, Eurotrash, I want to work on using those up this year as well, especially as I have recently purchased a couple of Vieve pink lipsticks as well, and I'm guessing they've not arrived yet, I only ordered them yesterday. I'm guessing they are pretty similar to the pink lipsticks I showed you just now. And then with the eyeshadows, what I'm thinking I might do is probably not pan them to completion, but start to introduce some of the eyeshadow singles into project pans and say I'm going to use this shade 20 times, and then once I've done that I can move it out of my project pan and then do the same with a different eyeshadow. And I might do something similar with the highlighters as well. So I'm currently panning a liquid highlighter. Once that's used up, I will pan the Becca Mini Champagne Pop because it broke and I have repressed it, so I kind of need to get that one used up. But then with the highlighters that are in my Laura Geller face and eye palettes, I think I'm going to do something similar as with the eyeshadows. So include them in a project pan, maybe rotate it per month. So say in April I will use this particular highlighter, in May I will use another one, or use them a certain number of times. So this video has been really useful to help me figure out the types of dupes that are in my makeup collection, and I feel like I'm a bit clearer with my project pan moving forwards, which items I need to include in my project pan. So I hope you found this interesting as well. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Thank you so much for watching, guys, and I'll see you again soon for my next one. Bye bye.